Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Millennial Kickback. I'm your host, Caesar, and today I'm joined by none other than Cedric.
I am dead.
You have been dead since the last episode, I've noticed.
It's because it's Halloween. If I saw you in my hallway, I would grab a golf club and yeet you into the distance.
Speaking of yeeting into the distance, Blizzard's credibility. We talked about that last episode, and ironically how it took a week since that episode was made, and yet Blizzard has already gone to shit once more.
This entire week, ever since Monday night, it has been just like back to back bad news for Blizzard and their community.
I mean, it's just crazy how during the time of recording, like just not even a day after, and already Blizzard are fucking up again. I'll let you do the honors and tell the story.
So, what is it? For those who don't know, the current political situation in Hong Kong is very heated. You have China wanting to take Hong Kong back, and that would mean Hong Kong would no longer be democratic. Meanwhile, the people of Hong Kong want the right to vote and be a democracy. And it's a very hot button issue. China will censor that shit, and they're heavily against that. And here comes Blizzard they have a video game called Hearthstone, which is basically like trading cards. So they're hosting the championship tournament, and their winner, who lives in Hong Kong, he won. And before they were gonna they asked him for his final word, and he said, "Oh, liberate Hong Kong," and then immediately they cut the stream.
From what I remember, you told me that they banned the player because of voicing his opinion on the whole revolution on that.
Yeah, because Hong Kong is his homeland. Not only did they ban the player, they also they took away his prize money. They banned him for a year, and then they also banned the casters, the commentators who were interviewing him as well, both of them. So basically 3 bans in total. Although, because of all the backlash, the Blizzard CEO released a letter as of this recording, saying, "Okay, we're gonna ban them for 6 months only, and we'll also give the guy his championship money back."
So not only did you ban the man unrightfully for speaking his opinion on a political issue that speaks very closely to his own heart and to his own life, you're banning them for the fact that you're losing a lot of money, so you're heavily reliant on China money.
Well, I wouldn't say they're making a lot of profit, but China is like 12% of their income. And we mentioned the Diablo Immortal thing, the iPhone game from last year. The reason they made the mobile game was because China is big on the mobile market. That's why PUBG Mobile. That's why Call of Duty's going mobile.
China's heavily involved with Tencent.
And they love mobile games. So the Diablo Immortal was because they want to get into the Chinese market.
During one of the streams of I think it was a Hearthstone game, where during a tournament, there were people who brought up signs that liberate Hong Kong.
So there was another Hearthstone stream, because right now is the Hearthstone Championship, and Blizzard's hosting that on Twitch. And they have cameras for the game, the teams, and the commentators. One of the teams that is Blizzard sponsored, in the middle of the game, they held up the Free Hong Kong, Boycott Blizzard sign. This was the day after all this started, and then they cut the stream, and they just went to commercial.
They practically just quit the entire stream, and they didn't stream anything else from that, from what I remember.
They basically said, we're not going to show. There's going to be no more interviews, no more cameras. We're not going to take any risk.
Yeah, it's basically now it's going to be behind closed doors, which already puts Blizzard in a very they're already in a shitty spot, but now they're even worse off because of this.
Oh yeah, and the response to it wasn't good either. The first response was, I think this was a day after the American response from the Hearthstone team was we banned him because he broke a rule. He's going to be banned. He's not going to have his money. The Chinese response, though, was, we're going to do whatever it takes to defend the pride of China.
It's really bad on Blizzard's case, because it's no matter what they say now, they've already fucked up with both of their responses. The first one was bad, and the one you mentioned earlier in the video doesn't make anything any better. Like the ban itself should not be plausible.
Now here's the thing though, it's like it's a big company. They have a lot of different games, a lot of different different teams basically. So when one team kind of fucks up, the Blizzard CEOs, everyone else kind of feels that. So what happened was Blizzard employees, they're on the Blizzard headquarters here in, they have this like big statue of one of their characters along with like a morality compass, ironically enough, with like all their morals and all that stuff. And the Blizzard employees covered that up as a sign of protest.
When did video games have to become so politically tied?
China.
I get it. Like, we make games that are there are games that are going to be made that are kind of provocative. Not every single one of them were real tellings. And we all knew by the end of the day that this was an augmented reality. This was just a simulated reality. So we played to our heart's content, knowing that full well that the consequences would not come. But now, all of a sudden, video games are starting to have political ties, and it's coming back as well with the whole issue of video games cause violence. And I personally believe that is complete and utter bullshit. Bias as that may be, at the very same time, whenever you ever heard of someone playing video games generally and doing crimes, it's something that Pat made a good point of, that it's kind of unfair to make a point that certain killers, like shooters, are killers because of video games. So that's like pointing out the fact that somebody is a killer because they wear pants.
Like, Matt Pat may be a cuck, but I think anyone with the brain can at least agree on that. Well, back to China. China isn't really about violence, it's more about their worldview. It's not just in video games, too, it's in movies. You know who Elton John is, right?
Yes.
Recently, he had a documentary released, and was the guy, he's gay. And they had to censor that because China doesn't like gays. Movies, video games, they all got to play it safe because they want to get into the Chinese market because they have such a big population, which leads back into the Blizzard thing. They're being really squeaky clean. And it's like, we're so sorry to China. We will protect the pride of the Chinese over our American customers.
Yeah, and that's not sitting well with both sides.
Should we look at the fan response?
Yeah, we should also look at the fact that, ironically, the same company that I shat on in Epic Games actually took the moral high ground in this.
So even though Epic Games is a gluttonous company that's trying to exclusive by now, their CEO, he at least stands his ground on this case where he said, we will allow anyone to say what they want. And when someone's like, was Tencent owns like 40% of your company, it's like, he said, it doesn't matter. I own the majority of the shares. I control most of the company. And for Tencent to go after Epic. So for Blizzard, it's a 5% share that Tencent has in Activision Blizzard. In Epic Games, it's 40%. However, someone pointed this out where, because Epic is such a big cash cow with Fortnite, the minute, hypothetically, if Tencent were to pull out, the Chinese company, a lot of other companies would be dying for 40% of Epic stock.
Yeah, if anything, Epic would not lose anything by dropping China's money.
Fortnite isn't really big in China anyways.
Epic Games has the upper hand, even though it's got influence from China. If they wanted to, they could easily go, you know what, we don't really need you guys. The only reason why we do it is because we're good business partners for now. But we could easily change that real quick. And the guy's got balls to go up to them and tell them, you want to pull out? That's fine. We don't need you.
A lot of people really, despite Epic's work ethic and just I don't like them in general, and I'm a fan of Fortnite, but you got to respect them. And a bunch of other companies have been kicking Blizzard while they're down. It's hey, we respect the rights of people to speak out what they want, except Riot Games. I don't trust Riot Games at all. The guys behind League of Legends, because those guys are 100% funded by Tencent. Tencent owns all the shares in League of Legends, so they could easily censor that shit.
It also adds into the fact why a lot of developers don't really care about their fans and why they care about monetization, because other countries have the money to share and they have the cash to persuade the developers to do stuff. And for the most part, this also enhances the greed. Even people with bad names are even putting their neck out and saying, you know what, we have a shit reputation. Okay, that's fine. We understand that, but for us to go and try for us to say that we support it would be wrong, and we don't believe this is right. That says a lot. And despite their bad reputation, I respect the CEO of Epic Games, because not a lot of people would stick their neck out like that and have the balls to tell off China.
And I think what Blizzard hopes is going to happen is that this will all blow over, and whatever they lost will be easily replaced by the Chinese money. And speaking of their losses, we should go into that because of this whole situation, a lot of Blizzard fans were mad. I'm friends with a bunch of Blizzard people. I showed them this. They immediately canceled their World. People were canceling their World of Warcraft stuff. They were getting refunds on purchases. They were uninstalling the Blizzard launcher.
It was a mass boycott, basically.
It was a mass boycott, and there's more controversy because now, people want to delete their accounts, and Blizzard won't let you delete their account. And in Europe, that is illegal, and they could technically sue Blizzard.
Yeah, on top of that also violates your civil rights, especially in the United States, if that was the case.
But more so the EU, because they have laws about that stuff. Because it revolves around data stuff or whatever. But yeah, it's like, people want to delete their accounts. Blizzard, obviously, they're getting this is a mass influx of deletion, so they can't handle it. But even if they, this is if you can't get a refund, you're eligible to sue.
There are terms and conditions that we have to follow, but at the very same time, these terms and conditions aren't just for us. They're for the company itself. And for Blizzard to go and try to refuse their terms and conditions that they've set forth, that's bullshit. And on top of that, that breaches confidentiality.
And then also, the response, it wasn't just the Hearthstone fan base. Like I said, World of Warcraft was deleting accounts, canceling subscription.
We're talking about a lot of people here from different types of genres, different types of backgrounds. We're talking about a lot of people, not just people who are related to Hong Kong issues.
Oh yeah. Every single one of Blizzard's fan bases. The Overwatch hero or the Overwatch character Mei, who's Chinese, the one who wears a big fur coat and has the freezing gun.
Oh yeah. They call her like the devil in the lore for some reason.
And then, no, the community calls her a devil because she's overpowered as shit, and Blizzard doesn't nerf her. I wonder why. She's Chinese. I wonder if they've been pandering to the Chinese the whole time.
They've been doing this secretly for the longest time ever, and we just now found out.
No wonder they never nerfed her.
Nerf? I bet you, even if they did nerf her, I bet you Mai would be like, nerf? I never noticed. No one ever told me.
But anyways, because she's Chinese, the big plan now is to turn her into a symbol of resistance in Hong Kong.
Oh my god.
And then, obviously that Winnie the Pooh is banned in China because they made fun of the president.
They made fun of the president, called him Winnie the Pooh. Oh no, I remember that. Oh god, it was all over Instagram too.
Their plan is we're gonna make Mei into a figure of protest and revolution. China will have no choice but to ban Overwatch. She has fan art and shit. They're making signs. I really do hope they ban Overwatch in China just so Blizzard can learn a lesson.
I actually believe that this is going to get even worse, and the fact that Reddit is going to go ham on this. I mean, they've already reconfigured the Chinese flag to have Blizzard's logo on it.
Yeah, I saw that too. And where are we in the timeline? So they want to turn Mei into a political figure. A bunch of their casters are dropping out from Overwatch and Hearthstone.
They're dropping ban hammers quicker than low tier gods
Oh yeah,
bots.
So what happened is if you mention Hong Kong in any of the Blizzard chat servers, like the helping or whatever, what do you call it? Like the forums, the official Blizzard forums, you get a 1,000-year ban.
Oh, customer support?
Not customer support, but just the forums.
Oh, the community tab.
Community tab, yeah, the community forums, and it's because that's owned by Blizzard, and it's if you say anything related to Hong Kong, you are banned for 1,000 years.
I'm not surprised that they have the 1,000-year ban. I would have been surprised if they never did that for the hacking or anything like that, or aimbotting or whatever like that. But because they've done it for that, it's not surprising at all.
Oh yeah, and that leads us to today, as of this recording, October 11th. The Blizzard CEO released a letter. They're reducing the ban. They're going to give the guy his money back. But also, one of the biggest BS in that letter was, what we did wasn't because we want to pander to China.
I love how this news has been fucking chaotic, and on top of that, it's been burning red hot.
At the time of this recording, Blizzard has like 3 weeks until their convention, which is really, really
Oh
bad.
no! Oh god! I can already see the fucking riots. Oh no!
Now, along with refunding the Blizzard products, they were refunding the tickets. Here's the thing: worst case scenario, if they do protest, they're gonna prove our point that Blizzard is like blocking all this shit. Because guess what? They're gonna have to they're gonna have to like get rid of the crowd shots. They're gonna have to like get rid of like the Q&A, anything involving cameras. Just like if it involves the crowd, they're gonna have to get rid of it because they don't want to risk it. And people bring signs too.
Dude, no matter what, Blizzard is fucked. Like, if they let them in, people are gonna go off on them. If they cut the event and they don't allow people to record or anything like that, they're fucked. Like, there's no way out of this for Blizzard. There's no way out of it without them getting, like, stuck in hot water.
They're not really like the best with their community, but we still play the games. But recently, quality has been going down ever since the whole Diablo Immortal thing, and this thing with Hong Kong just really just sealed the deal. That at this point, Blizzard is more than dead in the water. They're being ravaged by sharks.
The general public are gonna fucking clamp down on their legs.
Rest in peace, Blizzard. They cucked themselves.
This makes it all the more better that the other two co-founders left. Fuck.
They they predicted the future.
They jumped ship at a really good time. Whatever pity I feel for Blizzard, it's for the fact that they just got the biggest reality check. I don't believe it's gonna go under, but I believe that they're not gonna be AAA ever.
All right. Well, I propose that we turn the Blizzard HQ into a rehabilitation center for people with loot box addictions.
We've given Blizzard enough shit already, so let's just go on to your pepper farm. What started this whole thing with your green thumb?
So it was my dad just like he loves peppers and he grew a pepper plant and it's like it was my job to take care of it because I was like, go water the plants. Okay, I really didn't give a shit back then. And it's like I just did it like as it's just another chore, Was it water the fucking plants? Okay. But then this past summer, I was at a farmers market. They have a farmers market over in Tustin, and there's this guy who was selling plants for like $1, and they had like.
I loved how I emphasized you said $1. I even loved like the long ass pause. But then.
They died. No, just kidding.
Grug. We're never gonna escape Grug anymore.
Grug, grow pretty flower.
Alright, keep going.
Alright. So there's a farmer's market. They have a lot of good organic stuff. There's a guy who sells different plants for very cheap prices, and it's like, oh, which one was it that I picked up first? I think it was. Oh no, the year before that, my mom got me a chili pepper plant from Trader Joe's. I just kind of treated that one the same way I treated the other pepper plant my dad planted, where it's like, okay, it's just another chore. I need to take care of this thing, or else I'm not gonna get money. And it's like I think I picked up but I just picked up some pepper plants, and it's like I just started from there. It just turned slowly into like I need to get more. I want to increase the heat.
What specifically lured you going into chili peppers?
The fact that I was already growing them, and my dad loves them, and I love to give them out to a family and friends, assuming you're going to eat them. Why I chose to do that was it was summer. I was applying for jobs. None of them were answering. I wasn't taking summer classes because I didn't know if my financially covered that. And I had nothing else to do aside from play video games, look at memes, sleep, etc. Go on walks.
Why does it sound like the typical gamer? That sounds like that stereotypical gamer.
It was a boring summer, and it's like I have these plants. I might as well do something. And so I got the pepper plants. I started taking care of them, and then that kind of led to like, okay, I need to get plant food. I need to get vases. I need to get more plants. I need to get buckets now. I need to get tomato cages. I need to get extra special soil that drains well. I need to get a drill.
Okay, the fact that you mentioned a drill just like randomly out of nowhere, that just kind of concerns me.
No, it's legit. Where if you're growing pepper plants, one of the biggest things they need is drainage, and a very I wouldn't say famous, but it's just like a very common practice because pepper plants are like trees where they need support and they're very, very big. They can either be like a stalk, like imagine kind of like a tree, or kind of like a big bush, basically, where it doesn't go up, it expands in like a wide radius.
Cedric, I thought they were the little fucking small shrubs in the house. Like, now I'm thinking of like lemon trees size, my guy. What the fuck?
Yeah, mine, the one my dad grew, because I never trimmed it, it just keeps growing. It's like 5 feet tall at this point.
Jesus, the thing is about like 10 inches off me.
And here's the thing though, like they really do grow. They grow up to that size, and the reason why using a bucket as a vase is popular is the bigger the room the pepper has, the more it'll grow. But buckets, obviously, they're meant for holding water. They don't drain. So a common practice is you get a bucket. You get a bucket. What?
What was that?
My throat was dry and I was coughing. Hold up, I need to drink some water.
That was just so random. It was just like so you gotta drink just out of nowhere. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I drink like a liter of water at a time.
Oh my god! That sounded like the grapefruit technique.
Man. The thing is, if you're gonna use a bucket, which is really popular, you need to drain it. So you get like a drill, and you drill like 7 to 8 holes on the bottom, and like a couple holes on the side. The reason why is the bottom holes are for draining out the water, and the holes on the side are because they're also for water drainage, but because when they're in the bucket, they're not gonna get oxygen, directly. So you need to put holes on the side so they get oxygen better.
I can sort of see it. I can kind of visualize it. Basically, it's like a little tunnel for like water to kind of drain through and then go to a different section of the garden, so it doesn't necessarily like stay within the pepper tree.
Yeah, because if too much water, it makes the roots of the pepper rot, and that's not good. Whereas if you visit my Instagram, you'll see them. I'm always updating the garden, and what I did was I got a Sharpie. This was after they were drilled, but I pulled a small brain move where I should have
small brain. I'm a small brain.
I pulled a small brain move where I already had them filled with dirt in the plant, and I wanted to get a Sharpie and write stuff on it, like what type of pepper it was, what's the heat, and all that stuff. Because people on the pepper farms, they kind of they label their buckets and their pots, because this would be a different topic later, but it's called crossbreeding. So basically, I wanted to label the bucket for future reference, but I kind of messed up because I already filled it with dirt, so I couldn't just take it inside and draw it. I had to go outside, sit, and just carefully etch it into the bucket. I do a lot of small brain moves.
I bet you do, because that's kind of where a lot of our energy comes from, just doing a bunch of small brain moves and hoping that not a lot of consequences come as a result of it. But I believe you're the only person who genuinely takes this shit seriously. Like, I've never heard anybody who's talked about anything with as much passion as you do for fucking plants. The
only plants I have in buckets are my ghost peppers and my reapers.
How spicy do you grow them?
Normally, I would try my own product, but the last time I did, I ended up getting serious diarrhea, so I am afraid to eat them now. So I have taste testers for me. My family acts as my taste testers if they volunteer to. My dad and my uncle side, and my uncle and my aunt. But the ones in the bucket I have are my ghost pepper, which is really, really big because I give it a lot of plant food and it has a lot of space to grow. It's practically I measured it. It's 3 feet in diameter, and the Reaper is I barely got it 2-3 weeks back. It's still a sprout, and it hasn't seen any progress on flowers yet, but it's growing. I really do hope it works. And as recently, I contacted a nice pepper vendor online, and I am getting I'm getting 17 different breeds of peppers delivered to me sometime next week.
Holy Christ, you might as well have 2,500 acres of land with the amount of peppers you're growing.
You know what? There's a little strawberry shack on
you know what, Caesar? I've kind of been thinking about that lately.
No, I'm serious. Where it's there's a small strawberry farm. It's imagine it's a strawberry field, a house, and a little shack on the corner. I don't know if that farm is in business, but assuming they aren't, I will take over that land and transform it into my own pepper growing location.
Good luck with helping the nation eat from your fucking crops.
People have been trying to set records for the hottest pepper. Currently, it belongs to the Reaper, but there's other stuff that gets ignored. Like there's stuff called scorpions because they're literally shaped like a scorpion tail. There's one in particular called the 7-pot because it's been rumored to be so spicy it can affect 7 pots of stew with just one pepper.
What? Oh no.
And it is like freaking demonic.
It's like an anime when like you see the bad aura from anything. You just see the pepper spiced up so much. You just see that purple ass aura.
It has the JoJo comic sign on it. It's just like menacing aura.
I was always curious about you growing your peppers and whether or not you were actually going to start selling them, because you did say you started seriously making them, but you were only making them because it was a hobby of yours. You enjoyed it. You liked the idea of being able to like provide them for your family and for your friends. And I genuinely thought you could make money off of this, like as a pastime.
Oh no, I really wish I could. There's different ways I could make money off this. I could sell the seeds to other people online, especially the crossbred seeds. Those are really popular. What crossbreeding is you know how peppers, they have all fruits come from flowers basically. So peppers have like these little flower petals, and all flowers have pollen. A common practice is to put peppers in like the same area, and eventually bees and the wind will blow the pollen around and they'll mix, and the peppers will they'll combine and they'll make new peppers basically.
It's kind of like when spring comes around and bees just start pollinating a bunch of plants. It's kind of like that, but the pollen kind of spreads to other peppers.
You can also do it manually in different ways, but basically the gist is you take 2 different peppers, you take their pollen, mix it together, and then the pepper will grow kind of like either the same pepper but like with different qualities of the other one. So let's say I have a ghost pepper, and then I have the 7-pot. Let's say I mix the 7-pot with the ghost pepper might get a tail like the 7-pot does.
What I'm getting is that it's kind of like you're breeding 2 different types of dogs, but you're doing this manually with peppers. Now, how long is the process for this sort of stuff, or do you not know that?
I don't know, but it does work because basically what you want to do is once the flower opens, that is basically your window of opportunity to take pollen from another plant and then insert it into into that flower.
What peppers do you normally grow that you're fond of? Like, what are the most common peppers you grow?
Bird's eye, banana peppers. These are the only ones I actually care about. I have favorites, so they get less love. My favorites are ghost peppers because that's like my biggest one. Carolina Reaper because I really hope that one works out. Habaneros, jalapenos, mammoth jalapenos, and cherry peppers.
On average, how spicy are the peppers you grow?
Well, there's a scale. It's called the Scoville scale, and it picks up on the level of spiciness a pepper has because there's a chemical called Caspian or something. The one I tried was I added a bird's eye, which is like 70,000 or something, into my spaghetti. I regretted it. You know, I learned a lesson that day though that it does work. But I mean, the ones I have in my garden, my ghost pepper is like 800,000 to 1 million. And then the Reaper is like 1.5 to 2.5 million or something. However, the ones I ordered recently from the pepper vendor online, oh boy.
So to put it bluntly, it's like hellfire in your mouth.
A lot of people say it's like eating a hot charcoal. My father, you know, he's very tough. He is my main taste tester. So when he had the ghost pepper, like he said, you know, if it makes me sweat, it's a good pepper. The ghost pepper makes him sweat, which is good. My uncle tried it, and my uncle texted me. He's like, "Hey, I tried those ghost peppers you gave me." And I was like, "Oh, how was it?" I took one bite and I had enough.
I could just see a face of like I could just see like a really twisted grin on the side of your lip forming every time you get a response from that. I can just see you grinning evilly like like the revolution has begun and it will be televised.
But I really do get enjoy out of seeing people suffer from eating my peppers. I think I didn't tell the story where my uncle visited one. This is the same one who sent me the text about ghost peppers, by the way. He loves peppers, but the ghost pepper, the SoundCloud rapper, yeah, the one I had filmed, the one I filmed a music video for. And he visited one day. He loves peppers, but my was too spicy for him. He would take the other ones though. And I at the time I recently got the cherry peppers. They're like, imagine a cherry, but it's spicy. That's basically what it is, and it's like super small. He used reverse psychology, and my brother ate it.
Eat the pepper. No. Eat the pepper. No. Why not? It's spicy. All right, but if you don't, all right, you don't have to eat it because it's spicy. Then only real men eat it. Give me the pepper.
Yeah, he popped it in his mouth, and then the next thing I knew, he ran into the house, opened the fridge, and was chugging the milk. By the end of it, his tongue had turned gray.
What? Does that really happen when your mouth burns?
I don't know, but I just like his mouth was like pink one moment, and then like the next moment it was like gray. Probably because he chugged milk, but I mean,
Yo, that's fucking scary thinking about that.
Caesar, I sort of got it. I will bring you a ghost pepper next time I see you.
No, I'm going to dodge and dip. I'm not going to let you do this to me.
Come on, Caesar, think of the YouTube views.
Cedric, I'm not doing this even if my fans demand it. I'm not doing it. You're really gonna make me suffer for views? Are you serious?
Look, Caesar, I mean, it's the hottest trend right now.
Caesar, come on, it'll be pretty dank.
Caesar, come on, and while you're crying in agony, you also gotta sponsor my Instagram and my SoundCloud.
You're just like, do it, Caesar. You'll get sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. Come on, man.
Come on, Caesar, save your genitals.
Do it, pussy, no balls.
Do a flip.
You're just Bender from fucking Futurama. Like, I'ma do it. Don't do it. Do a flip. You're Bender. You're honestly like the closest thing to Bender that I have as a friend.
I know,
but I wouldn't change that for even a moment.
And unfortunately for me, fall and winter is coming, so peppers are gonna die out. The peppers are gonna die soon.
Jon Snow and Mother Nature like, winter's coming.
But I have a plan.
Let me hear this diabolical plan of yours.
I am going to invest a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of money into converting part of my garage into my indoor pepper growing farm. Listen, if you're watching, please follow me on Instagram and message me. Give me your money so I can build the indoor pepper farm.
To start a GoFundMe to help you raise a pepper farm.
What that one line was like was, my brother pushed me, I'm going to start a GoFundMe to kill him or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That one video is just like a little kid. I was like, if I get 10 likes, my big brother will stop abusing me.
But no, I really do. It's like, because like I got paranoid today. It's like, they're gonna die off. It's like I'm gonna get seedlings soon. Now the seeds, they'll last forever, but I'm very impatient and I want to get ready for next spring.
You just start screaming at your seeds like, grow, goddammit, grow.
No, I'm going to get my gun and shoot the sun into the
just like you just turn into like full Godfather. When you pull up with a Versace suit with a like a diamond encrusted fedora. Ayo, Tony, you didn't pay the fee.
Listen, Mother Nature.
Listen, you dead baby. I'm about to harvest you, and I'm about to do it tonight. Otherwise, little seedling gotta go.
Listen, Mother Nature. It's been getting too cold recently. My babies don't like the cold.
Oh, don't worry. Mother Nature's cold ain't gonna be the first thing you'll be feeling. Hot lead can turn your body real cold in a hot second. So
what the plan is, I'll convert space in my garage to house my peppers, and then I'll buy like there's special lamps you could buy on Amazon.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like those incubators.
Not really incubators. Oh, there technically is incubators for seedlings, but just like for plants in general, you can buy these special lamps that have like special lights that simulate the sun, like sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do like an indoor farm, and it's like I'm thinking about investing in that because like I really want to have some of these ready for next spring. Because some of them seem interesting to me, like the 7-pot and the scorpions and whatever.
If you're lucky, then and California weather just continues to be consistent, then the heat will carry over even to the winter. But yeah, it's starting to get a little cooler now, so I can see why you're concerned.
It's getting colder, and the spot originally the sun would be overhead, and they would get all the sunlight. but now because the season changed, the sun isn't shining on them as much anymore, and they haven't been growing as much. So it's like I need to start thinking about my plans for getting them more sunlight, moving them inside, all that stuff. I tried moving them to the back, but I have dogs, and that really doesn't work well with peppers.
Well, fair enough. I think the best you can do is just probably work day by day, see what you can do, plan it out ahead of time. But all in all, you're doing a very good job, and I think that it's really interesting that you actually have a passion like this. Like, not everybody has a passion like going for music, going into media, or anything like that. And it was kind of interesting when you even told me that you didn't want to make a channel of your own and that you prefer to work like more behind the scenes. But I respect it. I honestly do, and I appreciate you doing something you like and like agriculturally, because I've never like really met people who like do agriculture seriously.
At this point, I'm actually considering it to be my minor in university. I'll look into like botany and plant growing, and I really do want to make this like I currently can't find a job right now, and it's like if I can, I want to like sell seeds and also make stuff like hot sauce, flakes, spice with this stuff, and make some easy money, from my hobby. If you do something well, was it don't do it for free.
I thought I was only going to do this once a month, but I think I might make this a more consistent thing, considering that we usually have more to talk about nowadays, considering the summer is over. But again, thank you so much for joining me, Cedric. It was a really good time, and I appreciate you hopping on the podcast again.
Yep. Follow me on Prince of Peppers on Instagram. Give me your money so I could grow my indoor farm, and also check out my posts because I'm gonna be updating more when I buy stuff, when I get my seeds, etc., etc.
All right, then. With that being said, thank you guys for joining me for the Millennial Kickback. This has been your host, Sir Kappa. This has been Cedric. If you like what you see, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.